I wish I knew this before buying gear. I really do. This is the one tip that's literally going to save you thousands of dollars. I know this because I'm gonna show you proof that I massively messed this up when I first started backpacking. We're gonna dig into the archives, folks. We are going way back. I'm gonna show you pictures, proof of this whole thing here, this whole debacle that is going to save, especially if you've not purchased any gear at all, or if you're like sort of halfway through your gear experience and you're just like, this is a disaster. I'm gonna help you massively. So my buddy Eric put out a video this week where he shared that I gave him some immense wisdom.
There's only been one time on this planet that Dan Becker has given me good advice.
So it gave me a great idea. I'm gonna share this wisdom with you this week. So, all right, here we go. When you're shopping for your backpacking gear, the easiest thing to do is to just be like, hey, I'm gonna go buy my backpack first. I'm gonna buy that before I buy anything else because it's the funnest thing to buy. You walk into the store, maybe it's an REI or wherever you're at, you're in this awesome outdoor store that you're just looking around and you're like, oh man, this is gonna be so awesome. I'm gonna get everything I need here, but I'm gonna buy my backpack right now because that is the cool thing. That's what everybody sees. That's when I bring it home and everybody knows that I'm now this backpacker or whatever it is, and it's just fun to do. But it's the last thing you actually want to buy. See, the first thing that you wanna buy, well, actually, let me show you what I did. So, let's just dig into the archives real quick. I started backpacking. I'm from Wisconsin, by the way, where backpacking like doesn't exist in this part of the country. Like people don't even know what it is. Yeah, I started backpacking in my mid-30s. So this is probably, I don't know, honestly. I think it's 9 years ago. This might have been 2015, maybe 2016. But this is a picture of me right after I started shopping for gear. Me and my buddies sort of came up with this idea to actually go backpacking. And I didn't have a backpack yet. So I grabbed a school backpack and strapped a bunch of stuff to it. There's probably not even enough stuff in that backpack on my back. Like I hadn't even set foot on any trail at this point. I was just like excited to go do something. This is probably before I even started watching like YouTube videos. This is like after my trip to Walmart, probably buying that nasty roll of horrible sleeping pad up top. So that's the problem right there. Okay, and then I realized this isn't gonna work out. So I went back to Walmart because I barely had any money to do this, and I bought this right here. This is an Ozark Trail backpack. It's a 45 liter backpack. It's the very first backpack that I ever bought. And that backpack literally ripped that day or that next day on trail. I probably went out actually that morning and bought it. I don't remember, but I remember hiking and it just totally ripped apart. It was just the biggest piece of junk ever. So then I come home and I'm trying to figure out what am I gonna do next. So then I bought this backpack. This is the Osprey, I wanna say it's the Aether backpack. This is I think a 60 liter backpack. This is like my first real backpack that I bought. You know, this is like full featured, no idea what I was doing. I just crammed this thing as full as humanly possible. You can see I still don't even have room for like the sleeping pad or anything to even fit inside because it was already just jammed full with everything you can imagine. Just everything. If I wish I could go back and just pull out everything I brought on that trip like today. That would be so much fun to look through just to be like, oh my gosh, Dan, what were you thinking? So I went on the trip with that. It was absolutely miserable. This is a second trip now. This is a totally different trip, but I went on another trip with that. That was totally miserable. And then I started watching like YouTube videos and I started learning all kinds of stuff. And then I was just like digging for cash wherever I could find it. And honey, I'm sorry, but I probably dug into some savings somewhere to buy this next backpack that my wife probably didn't even know I bought. But I bought this one. This was like the ultralighters backpack back then. This is the Osprey Exos, I think. And this is probably, oh man, I know I'm gonna mess this up, like a 48 liter backpack. And you can see I got everything to fit finally in there. So I had spent probably thousands of dollars at this point. I mean, all the junk I bought for the first couple trips that didn't work out, hundreds and hundreds of dollars. That second backpack was a few $100. This backpack was a couple $100. I did sell the old backpack, but then to buy, stuff to fit inside of this backpack because it's a smaller backpack. Oh man, what an absolute disaster. Oh, look at this. This is a sweet selfie of me actually wearing the backpack. Oh my gosh, look at that. No gray hair in my beard. No gray hair in my beard. I mean, can we get like a side by side here? Let me see if I can do the same face there. Ah. To be young again. Okay, so how do you solve this problem? How am I gonna save you money? Well, learn from my mistake. This was a massive mistake. I wasted so much money. My big mistake was I bought the backpack first, which was the biggest mistake ever, because then nothing fit inside of the backpack. And then I ended up buying this bigger backpack thinking, well, this is gonna solve all my problems, and I spent a few $100 on this backpack. And you could still see nothing fit inside of it. As a matter of fact, the yellow thing on top of the sleeping pad there, that's a tarp. Because I was hammock camping back then, and that was like some just junky tarp I bought on Amazon that some dude on YouTube told me to buy, and it was a disaster. What a nightmare that was. But nothing even fit inside of that backpack. And this is an example of my buddy who was also on my very first backpacking trip with me. Check this out. Now, this is a guy who borrowed all of his gear. He's got a full grill grate attached to his backpack, a full-size axe, and he's carrying a gallon of water. So this is actual proof that no one in Wisconsin knows what they're doing. Sorry if you live in Wisconsin. So here's what you're gonna do. It's gonna save you thousands of dollars. The first thing you're gonna do is you're gonna go out and buy your shelter. Whatever that shelter is. If it's a tent, if it's a bivvy, if it's a hammock, go nuts, all right? That's what you're gonna buy first. The next thing you're going to buy, in the order of things to buy, is your sleep setup, your sleep system, your sleeping bag, and your sleeping pad. Why? Because now you know what's going to fit inside of your shelter. Your shelter is gonna determine whatever fits inside of it. Now, if you fit 2 people in that shelter, that's great. Make sure your sleeping pads are gonna fit inside of that shelter. Sleeping pads are all made differently. If you wanna have a 25-inch wide pad for both of you, that shelter better be able to handle both sleeping pads. And now, once you've bought your shelter, then your sleeping system, you can finally buy your backpack. Why? Because these are the 3 most big and bulky and heavy items that you're going to bring backpacking. Now you know if those things are gonna fit inside of that backpack. And you're gonna want a little bit of extra room inside of your backpack for all the other stuff, your food and any other things that you're gonna plan on bringing. You're welcome, Eric, you're welcome. Those are the tips, that's the tip to save you legitimately thousands of dollars of messing this up. Buying, selling, all the time, all the horrible trips that I had to take trying to figure this out. That one's for free, folks. That one's for free. There's not even a sponsor for this video. That was for free. All right, hope that helps you guys out, and we will see you on the next one.